Oh, hi. You caught me reading again. Hi, it's me again for your Wednesday installment of PPD, Post-Potter Depression. But don't worry, you're going to get happy. I want to bring up the polyjuice potion for just a moment because I want to ask you, if you could be anybody for one day, who would it be? Comment below. I pretty much I'm really good with being me, but if I could be anybody else, it's probably whoever is making out with Chris Evans right now. Basically. That's right, Captain America. I want to meet that man. Oh, I should add one more thing about the polyjuice potion. The polyjuice potion too, because of how much time and effort went into it, I thought, I totally think that potions would be my favorite subject because I like cooking, I like baking, I like creating things. But then I had to think for 2 more seconds and was just like, no, because when I cook, I throw this in, I throw that in, and I just kind of whip it up. And it always turns out okay, but that's not how you make potions in Harry Potter. It's a real precise art. You have to know what all the ingredients do. You have to stir it certain ways and wait and all this kind of stuff that maybe I wouldn't be very good at potions, which is too bad because I heart Snape and I would have really wanted to show off for him. And I probably couldn't have because I would have blown stuff up and he would have been mad at me and those greasy locks would have just been shaking in fury. And he just would have been like, disappointment. And it would have been really sad and it would have hurt my feelings and I probably would have cried because, at this point Harry's 12 and so you think about yourself at 12, maybe you are 12, maybe you're 17 now and you're thinking back on 12, maybe you're 35 and you're thinking back at 12. You cried a lot at 12. I don't know. Not everybody. I really wasn't a crier, but I think if Snape had looked down on me like I was insignificant, I probably would have cried because he's kind of intimidating. So, another big thing in the second book, and it kind of keeps going through the books, but specifically in this one, most especially, is the idea of mass hysteria. Like, anytime anything goes wrong, especially Halloween, which was a pattern, and then J.K. broke it in one of the books, but Halloween, alright, stuff goes down. And then there's mass hysteria, everybody's suspicious of everybody else, typically Harry. They blame him for everything. They don't believe anything he says, they start making up wild stories, and I don't know if it's just because he's kind of like the celebrity or he's famous and that's what we do with celebrities. We put them in magazines and we make up lies and we just want to make them more fantastic than they probably are. And I feel bad because Harry unfortunately isn't a celebrity that gets to go run away and be away from everybody. He has to still hang around with the paparazzi, Colin Creevy, and still get stuck having to answer all the questions of all his, fans, or at least the people who are nosy and want to know everything, like Ernie. Also a pain. Alright, and I think Ernie ruined Hufflepuffs for me. I don't like him. Because he's just so, I know everything and I'm going to tell you what I know. He did mention something, though, about, I wonder what Harry has that the Dark Lord wants, or doesn't want him to have. And I thought that was cool. I was like, well, of all the nonsense Ernie said, it's kind of onto something there. So, but I feel really bad for Harry Potter because I just feel like he's misunderstood all the time, and that's something that I cannot stand. I just want people to know who I am. I want them to believe what I say. And so I feel bad for Harry. At least in these chapters, Harry gets to get some credibility because Hermione gets hurt. And everybody's like, oh, I mean, if he's a Dark Lord, he's really dark because he took out his best friend to prove a point. Like, that seems a little bit more, so some people get even more frightened of him, and then other people are like, oh, no, it can't be Harry. If I had really thought it was Harry Potter, at this point in the book, I would be terrified because I'd be like, oh, that kid means business. Mom, I'd be like, bring me an owl, quick, I gotta go home. Oh, I would have stayed home. The last thing I want to point out in all of the Harry Potter books, but right now it becomes really evident because there's bad things going on, or there's things that nobody understands and everybody's confused. And Harry knows a lot of information. And as the reader, we know Harry knows a lot of information. And it just frustrates me because I know we're inside of Harry's head. And he only ever really tells Ron and Hermione everything. But there's so many more people in this book that really would have... I mean, events would have been different. Things would have turned out differently if Harry had just told somebody, you know, what he was hearing, what he was seeing, what he was doing. And I love how through this book, Dumbledore is very patient, very grandfathery, very wise. I don't think grandfathery is a word. But he's just like, do you have anything to share? And Harry's just like, no. Which is funny to me because I don't know how Harry could have kept a straight face. Like, no, I don't have anything I could share with you. Why? What have you heard? You know, like, or just simply that it's just like, no, nothing. Of course, I do work with kids, so they do lie like that all the time. Like, no. I mean, I know they're lying, but the fact that Dumbledore has the patience all the time to be like, all right, then I'll see you later, Potter. I mean, I would have zapped the kid and like read his brain because you know he knows information. All right, the highlights are the Polyjuice Potion, which we talked about, mostly so I could give a little shout out to Chris Evans because I would like to get to know him. Just in case you watch this, Chris, just so you know. If you love Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. We have something in common. And now it's an eHarmony video. Hi. Okay, so there's Polyjuice Potion, which is a super cool potion. We've got Mass Hysteria, because if there were anybody to perpetuate mass hysteria, just give it to a bunch of teenagers. Everywhere. All right? So then, and of course, the last thing is lack of communication on Harry Potter's part. Let's go, sir. We have got to tell people when you know crucial information. I hope you enjoyed your daily dose, and I will see you next week.